Hello everyone, my name is Vikas Shukla and I have been creating some finance related, stock market related videos, and in today's video I will be covering PLTR, Palantir software. That's I think how it's pronounced, that may not be correct. The most of my views are from the financial perspective, as I try to make you understand what this stock is about. So as of now, as I'm making this video, we have the stock price at $26.92 and the total market capitalization of $49 billion. And we are going to see how it could be a good buy or not, depending upon the financials and future projections. So this is a quick data that we currently have, which means in the most recent quarter of 2020 it had a sale of $322 million, and we are not going any value to the losses because that's obviously it's a growing company, and future we expect that it will have a positive revenue or a positive profit and so on and so forth. Based upon this last four quarters, we have a total revenue of $1 billion. But I would say take this most recent quarter of $322 million as the current run rate, which means that in this point we have a current yearly revenue close to 1 point maybe 3 or $1.4 million. And since it has projected a growth rate of like 40% or so in coming quarters, year to year growth, I would say it's this figure is continuing to grow in the next 3 or 4 quarters. So I would say its current revenue, we could say in 2021 or even 2022, could be as high as like $2 billion. So as of now, let's see a little bit of optimistic, and that's a projected revenue of $2 billion, and its market capitalization with $2 billion has a multiplier factor of roughly 25, or price to sale ratio. This looks a little high to me, but keep in mind, because it's a growing company and it's expecting that by 2025 the revenue is going to be $4 billion, which is not overly optimistic given that it keeps growing, and it's one of the few companies that has taken an early on a lead in the AI market, and so on and so forth. But the problem area that I am looking at is that the current valuation, the stock market in overall is an all-time high, and because of this flow, some of these stocks at the current prices has overvalued. So I do not have any objection to their growth story, but at this current price, and this was actually even higher a couple of weeks ago, just before the release of this quarterly results of maybe $30 to $33 and so on and so forth. So what I would, even if I'm optimistic about PLTR, I would like the overall complete market to cool down, which is an all-time high as I make this video. And when the overall market cools down, this stock price I expect is expected to cool down to something $20 or so, and that probably, even if you are really optimistic about the Palantir, you have to hold down your enthusiasm to buy it at a wrong point. Some of these the positive things about the Palantir is they have a cutting edge AI technology, which means that businesses can use to see in future what those decision makings based upon the data that they have looks like in future if they take one or the other decision. So they can use these technologies, and especially the bigger companies, they can use this technology for the future. They have a close to $500 million of revenue just from the government, and because this government has shown their faith into Palantir, so it means that they have a proven technologies, and that is going to stay constant. The government revenue can stay constant, they can rely upon that, but they will have to grow from the non-government revenue. The revenue growth is very fast. They have a good cash flow, and their cash flow was further augmented by the recent IPO release. So Katie Wood, hey, she is the head of the RK Investment, has made a phenomenal. She has a very good back history of investing in growth companies, and she has outsmarted S&P 500 by a significant percentage. So we can rely upon her intuition or her background, her phase into it to say that Palantir could be a growth story. Now, on the downside, even by taking all of this into account and assuming that Palantir is a good share, I think that every stock, the way I value it, is that every stock could be, or most stock could be good at a given price point, and when they are get overvalued, I usually try to avoid those stocks, not buying at an overhyped price. And that's true for most of the recent IPOs, including Airbnb, DoorDash, and Snowflake, and so on and so forth. So I still believe that PLTR is still a little overvalued, and I would wait it for to cool down before you get into prime. The another thing you need to keep in mind that even though they have a cutting edge AI technology, it does not prevent other companies to catch up and bring up the product which is competitive in price and offering. And that's where I believe that it's a hurdle in reaching it for the $4 billion of orders. Uh, and it's going to take a time, and we are realizing all those future valuation into current price, which means that we are buying all the uh, risk that we have. um, and then finally, that I have already pointed out, it's currently the stock market is high, so we need to cool it down. So this is my overall assessment of the PLTR. I would like to buy this stock, but I need to I would wait it to cool it down before I buy it. And one thing I wanted to mention, that even if at lower price, I would still buy it like the put sell, because it's volatile. Those put sell can fetch you relatively a good amount of money in terms of the your um, premiums, and that would be a significant amount. So that is one good way of making money, even if you are long into Palantir software. Thanks for taking a look. If you, I would like to give your comment, because my assessment could be incomplete. So I certainly would invite all the comments, even if it's against to what the view that I hold. So give it a thumbs up or thumbs down, whatever way you feel, and certainly leave your comment. Thanks for taking a look.